Hi,
Hello there.
how's it going?
Yeah, good.
Cool,
Yeah,
right on. So we're looking at Picard again, season
yeah.
3, episode 7,
7
called Dominion. So yeah,
Dominion.
that's the title of the episode. So I watched this yesterday with you on an Amazon Watch Party,
It's a
which was
disaster.
an absolute fucking nightmare.
It took us
Um,
3
it
hours.
took us 3 hours to do it because we couldn't sort it all out, and then um, just watching the episode, like every 2 seconds, we were both stopping it and going, "He would not say that," and that sort of thing. Or that. So that was very, very funny, but very tiring. But I
Yeah.
watched it again this morning, and it just flashed by. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a good episode.
yeah,
Yeah, exciting.
it was a good episode.
Yeah.
So got another new face, or another old face, if you like.
Oh,
So
yeah. It starts off with,
yeah,
Tuvok.
episode
Yeah.
starts off with Tuvok, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure kind of how we got to that point. Like, were they just, I
I
think they
th-
were just talking, via the
yeah.
whatever.
So she was talking, so Seven was talking to Tuvok, and you think, oh, yeah, great, Tuvok.
Yeah.
Um, and they've got like the Vulcan lady, Picard, Geordie, sort of monitoring the voice to see if he's not a changeling, not to see if his voice patterns are the same as
Yeah.
what they've got on record for Tuvok. And it's kind of hit and miss because they are quite good at replicating people's mannerisms and the way people talk. But and then it turns out that Seven did a few questions that sort of tripped him up because
Yeah.
she was very close to Tuvok, very very close
Yeah.
actually, really good friends, and she knows so much about him, and obviously that wasn't apparent, so it was a changeling, and then it sort of transpires that they've been doing this for like probably a few days now. They've been trying to contact people in Starfleet that they've known for years,
Hmm.
and they've been going through these list of questions to see who's still not been taken over, and also it transpired that Tuvok has been captured by them. So it'd be good to see if they can get him out at the end.
Yeah. I hope
Um,
so. Excuse me. Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause
leather coats we noticed.
yeah. So that was kind of odd. So it was almost like there'd been a mid-season break because the everyone on the bridge was looking rather stylish in wearing their leather jackets. I mean, do they still use leather in the 24th century or whatever it is? But yeah, all very muted colours, like different colours than what they were wearing a couple of episodes ago. They've all just
Yeah,
decided to break out the leather jackets for whatever reason. And also, Sidney LaForge just had a haircut because it was much more sort of like bouffant before. It was very nice back then. It's very nice now, but it's just a point. I'm not saying anything about her. It's
maybe
just
they did have a mid-season
yeah,
break. Yeah, on an
it's just all
holiday.
of a sudden they've all just come back with a new wardrobe. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're in trouble. They're on their own. Half the crew's gone, and they're just like raiding each other's fucking wardrobes or something. I don't know. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it was
So
weird.
it,
But I would wear one. I
yeah.
liked them.
Um, so they kind of come to the point where they think, all right, we're on our own, sort of thing. They're bound to pick up some.
Some of the
Worf might have found some
yeah,
of
the
the dudes out
cavalry
there,
will
and
come, won't they?
yeah. Um, so right, they've got to deal with themselves, and then there's a thing where Jack really fancies um,
Sydney.
Sidney
I keep saying
LaForge. Yeah,
Sydney now, but I'm not actually not sure if that is the name. I think it is.
I think it. Yeah, no, it is
Um,
Sydney. I think. Yeah,
yeah, so that's
um,
kind of cool, I
uh,
suppose.
and he kind of reads a mind.
Yeah, what's that all about?
So I'm thinking because we thought he was a changeling, but
Oh, you think he still might be? I mean,
they don't have. Well, as far as I know, they don't have mind reading
no,
capabilities.
yeah. So it's like, but there's all kinds of weird shit going on, isn't there? Like, evolved changelings. We still don't know the thing about Vadic's hand that can just
Yeah,
drop
yeah,
off and
yeah,
turn into the weird floating sort of head. So
yeah,
there's more, there's loads going on. We still don't know. 7 episodes in, which is, it's great.
yeah. It's really good. Yeah, really
But
good.
yeah, so they're in the turbo lift together, Sydney and Jack, and Jack's making a sort of typical British Hugh Grant type fumbling attempt to sort of chat her up, and then
Yeah,
you can hear the inside of her mind, and she's like, why is he like that? And oh, he is charming. And then she says, I mean, you could be subtle and just touch my hand, which I thought was a weird thing to think. And then he does touch her hand, and she's like, you know, I mean, guy can't win.
I think she was a bit frightened of the fact that,
He can
like,
read
he
her
knew
mind,
exactly, yeah, he knew exactly what to do.
which is fair
Uh,
enough, yeah. And then
yeah,
his eyes do that flashy red thing, which she didn't seem to notice. But
yeah. I mean, is that for our benefit? Because if
I
that
suppose
happened
it
to
must
someone
be
you knew, you'd just be
metaphorical.
like, yeah.
I don't
Like, what?
know.
Man, you got red fucking eyes, man.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So
But that was sort of like, that's kind of cool. They make a nice couple, I suppose.
then the thing I remember next is Bev's having a philosophical conundrum about moral issues, ethics. Yeah, like they give a shit, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bev
I
is,
mean
oh yeah,
they need.
because she says at one point, I'm losing my compass.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
It's
Yeah,
just kind of a
uh,
weird thing to, it's a weird way to
but they're going to
talk.
kill you. We need a way of figuring out,
Yeah.
who they are.
Yeah.
We're not going to torture anybody. We just want to, find a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Obviously not
everything's
above it.
like.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like Picard got his phaser out, didn't he? So,
Yeah,
so
they're all right killing them. They just don't want to
yeah.
be an ethical conundrum.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we do need to kill them, but I don't know how to sort of like write this in the report. We could just say, oh, I don't know, they just died. In actual
Yeah,
fact, Bev can like sort of like smash its brain in with a microscope or something.
yeah. I mean, it's got
Or
really,
just lie
It's,
about it,
that was a
just
bit
lie.
daft, but
Don't know what
so
happened.
anyway,
Fell down the
they called.
stairs.
Yeah,
They don't have
it
stairs
ran
in
it
Star
ran
Trek.
onto my
Yeah.
disruptor. Couldn't do nothing about it. So.
So that was we jumped ahead a bit there. Yes. So that was sort of Vadic.
Oh right,
That
sorry.
Vadic basically got captured, didn't they? They sort of set a trap on how to capture Vadic. Not sure, what their goal was. I mean, or
Yeah,
just
I
to
didn't
find
get
out
it
what's going
either.
on. I suppose, but the plan just came out of nowhere. Right, we need to capture her.
And it was all to do with oh fuck, barriers. But I thought, why aren't they beaming these people out into the brig
Yeah, the whole let's use the
or even into
transporter
fucking
thing.
space? What's she going to do without an army?
Yeah,
You
exactly,
know?
exactly. Just cut off the head of the snake.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they used to be a bit quicker about these things back in the old Star Trek.
Actually, it's
You know?
interesting. I was looking at the one this morning, and there's when Jack and Sidney, so they bait a trap basically for Vadic to come down. They pretend the ship's shut down, that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Vadic, they all beam on her and a couple of changelings. It turns out there was a lot more changelings, but and then they start doing that thing where they start running, and the barriers turn on in between them. The sort of barriers in the what do you call them, the corridors,
Yeah.
sort of trapping people and stuff like that. So I thought it was quite interesting because one of them, Jack, he's running and he just goes, "Hey!" and all of a sudden, the barrier comes up like that, and then Sidney says, "B," and then it cuts to Shaw and Seven, and Shaw goes, "Go," and Seven goes, "Closing down B," and then presses the button.
Yeah.
And I was just
5 minutes
like,
later.
why would you you have to do that? Sort of like, why does he have to tell you to do it, and then you have to announce it and then press the button? It's like she'd
Yeah,
have been
can they have
killed.
like a voice thing with the computer? They could
Yeah,
have done it
you
instantly.
would have just
Yeah.
pressed the button. If she said B, you would have just gone.
Got to include
Yeah,
everybody.
you wouldn't.
Got
You just press the button,
It's
But
people
yeah,
doing
rather
stuff.
than going, I'm
People
pressing the button now. I just thought it was weird. It was just like,
confirm press button.
yeah. Oh, sorry, that was 2 seconds too late. She's dead.
Yeah. Well, they chopped her in half
What
with
did
one or
you say?
something.
Confirm breasts. What did you say?
Confirm button press.
Oh yeah, confirm press. Yeah, I was like, confirm press. Very
No,
weird.
yeah, no.
It
I
wouldn't
don't think we need
surprise
to
me if
do that.
Seven said something like that.
Yeah.
Probably to Chakotay in the
They
past.
got they've got to have to do stuff, I know, but it's like everything seems to be a lot slower than
I can confirm you have pressed my breast.
I mean, like when you yeah, yeah, ow. When they were doing it on Star Trek, like for instance, if they knew that Seven was about to kick off and take over the ship, they had a plan, and it just went,
Yeah.
and if there was a little bit dodgy, something went a bit wrong, but they had it was all very quick. It wasn't, like you say, it wasn't 5 minutes of people
Yeah.
confirming press.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so,
weird. But we found out from Vadic that she was sort of evolved from like an experiment on Daystrom Station where they were testing or just basically being quite nasty to
They're torturing them,
changelings,
weren't they? Breaking
torturing
them up,
them,
freezing them, boiling them.
putting them in test tubes and boiling them. That's what they
Yeah,
were doing, and
I
yeah, sort of
know.
stuff like that, freezing them and sort of chipping them apart, and just
It doesn't
generally
seem
being
very scientific either, because
no,
like she's put up is it a blowtorch to one of the test tubes?
yeah,
I mean, that's not a controlled
yeah,
environment, is it? She just walked over to a wall and decide, excuse me,
just decide to
decided to
burn them.
apply
Yeah,
some heat. But you don't know what the heat is, do you?
what do you mean?
It's not controlled. It's not a
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it
controlled
didn't look
burn.
like it. She's just like,
And she was touching a needle as
well,
well.
yeah,
Now, me and you know a lot about how to use needles, because
not
we
because we're drug addicts.
yeah, no, we used to make drugs in a clean room in a hospital in London, and I don't know what the flicking of the actual
Everyone
needles
think,
about.
yeah, anyone who's they all do that in every single show. They go like that, don't they?
Yeah,
Like
it didn't
that.
have a needle cap on it.
No needle
She was
cap on
holding it
it.
from the
So
bottom. What the
yeah,
fuck?
and it
It
just
wasn't.
or doing that squirting stuff up into the,
Yeah, massive,
it's
great
just
big
not.
bubble in there.
Where's your good manufacturing practice there? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not.
now where's the GMP?
Where's your
Where's your orange guide?
where's your
Where's your
aseptic technique? Yeah,
yeah? No, it was absolutely
it
appalling.
was very very appalling. Yeah, she wasn't wearing goggles or anything. If you're gonna squirt some fucking mad chemical,
Had her hair out,
yeah, do you know what I
everything.
mean? She's
It
just
wasn't gowned up at all.
whistling away, and also completely alone, which is another thing. Like, where is everyone on
Yeah,
day
yeah,
streams?
lone worker with a bunch of people who've been torturing for weeks. What
Yeah,
if one of them decides to get a bit
yeah,
fractious?
exactly. Which it eventually did. Um,
Eventually, it happens.
so yeah, Vadic somehow changed from being a bit of goo in a test tube into a huge thing. I wasn't quite sure how that happened either. But yeah, she skewered the person who was doing experiments on her, who happened to look well, it was Amanda Plummer. So basically, took on the woman's form
Yeah,
herself as a sort of like a permanent human form in order to
yeah.
remind herself of how
What an evil
evil
bitch
everyone
she
is. Yeah,
was.
which is
Yeah.
kind of like that would annoy you
They
looking
don't
in the
seem to have
mirror.
any standards at this stage, Strum, like
Yeah,
knocking out,
no,
genocidal weapons, and
no, it's
they had
got
the Genesis weapon in there as well.
all kinds of
Which
shit.
actually, I watched the episode of that the other day,
Yeah,
and that actually doesn't work. The Genesis weapon doesn't work properly,
no, that's right.
because her son put something in it. I can't remember what it was now, proto matter or
Yeah,
something.
that's unstable matter. So yeah, because it does, because the Genesis planet in Wrath of Khan. I think
That's right.
it's
Yeah,
Wrath of Khan. Yeah,
yeah.
or is it Search for Spock? Oh god, because
No, it's in both.
it is
It's
in
in
both.
Rafa
Yeah,
Khan first, Search for Spock.
because Spock gets
They go back again
yeah,
because Spock's body looks like it's alive again,
yeah, that's
and
right.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
So
great movies. I love that whole thing. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so that was pretty interesting. Um,
Mm.
yeah, so basically, she's like, "You're arseholes. That's why I'm doing it." Um,
She's right though.
she is right. Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
there's no sort of really reasoning with anyone like that. It's like they're probably going to have to kill her. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
probably.
And well,
Yeah.
all of them. So unless they can come
Yeah.
to some sort of peace accord, which
Oh, the other good thing as well was that she said that it was a certain amount of them.
yeah, 9 of them,
Um,
didn't she say something like that?
nine of them. I guess. Yeah, can't really remember. But she can pass this particular ability on.
Yeah,
The replicating of the blood and the organs, and a full body basically, and hold their shape. They don't. I don't know if the bowls are necessary anymore, where they've got a rest in
doesn't
them.
look like it. No, it's just sort of like
No, but that other guy, the other guy had one, didn't he?
yeah. So there's
So
obviously like
maybe they
sort of
still need him.
there's different types. There's obviously like there's the old you know,
Old school normal
original
ones, yeah,
changelings which use the bowls. There's
yeah,
the 9 mental ones like Vadic who can retain a permanent form, and then there's another ones which are sort of can hold a permanent form temporarily in exchange for what did she say? Eternal pain and a very short life.
yeah.
So it's like
Well, yeah. So that's
yeah.
not cool. Yeah,
So yeah. So But then when she says she's giving that on, she's giving that on to other changelings. Is that what she's talking about? Yes, the
Yeah,
produces changelings, like so, and they're all willing to do it. Well, some
of
of them are
course they
willing to
are.
do it.
Well,
So
after the genocidal thing,
they're all
yeah.
yeah. So they're all fucking mental at this point. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So yeah, so sort of stakes are ramping up. You can kind of at this point, it's like these people are probably not going to stop. Like, there's
No,
probably not going to be any reasoning with them. They're going to have to do something bad.
no, you
Probably,
wouldn't anyway. If you'd been
yeah,
through all that and the torture and all the
yeah,
rest of it, there's no way. There's no way anyone's going to sort of be able to sort of argue their point. And you're
yeah,
going, well, actually, yes, humans should be allowed to survive.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to go,
But
fuck you,
I think they're going
fuck
to
you, sir.
exactly. So,
Yeah,
I mean, they're probably going to have to, in order to kill them. I reckon this is going to be another moral conundrum. They're probably going to have to use some biological weapon. I think someone mentioned it, maybe Picard or Bev, a
mm.
biological weapon against the fucking Great Link, and
Yeah, that's a great
kill
idea.
them all like again,
Yeah.
or try and do it again, which is
I mean, I
asking
don't
for
think
trouble.
maybe all of the fluids. I don't think all of the fluids are in on it. I don't know. I don't know. Um, some might, but it seems like there's quite a lot of them, and you don't blame them. You know, they've got
No,
a really good reason to want to,
yeah,
um, do as much damage as possible.
and
So there's that.
we sort of
Mm.
also have we saw a bit more of data lore,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I think halfway through the episode, I was like, I think I said to you, it was like they probably, why didn't they steal data or something? He probably knew all about Picard and stuff. That would have been a good asset for them to steal to
That's
get more
right. Yeah, yeah,
information,
yeah.
but they didn't. So it's like, well, maybe they've
It's a
spoken to
plan.
Law and they've, and it turns out, well, I think that's what happened. It wasn't exactly clear, but I think
Well,
basically
it would be a good idea. They
yeah,
know they would take data if they saw him.
yeah, but they
You
also
know,
know that Law would be on. Law would have any chance to sort of get back at Picard and at Starfleet. So they probably said, "This is what we're doing. We need you to help us." And because eventually, Law did actually help Vadic and her crew take over the ship, which is what they
yeah,
did.
yeah, exactly.
Towards the end of the
Yeah,
episode, she
yeah. It's
escaped
a
from
pretty good plan.
Yeah, she escaped from
Yeah,
confinement because Data Law turned off the
the
containment
barriers.
fields and stuff.
Yeah,
While Bev and Picard shot at it, but nothing happened, and it disappeared
yeah,
through a convenient hole in the ceiling because
yeah,
they have those. Um, but yeah, so they ended up taking over the bridge. Vadic is just like being totally brilliant as a villain. She's
yeah.
just
She's
utterly
great.
sort
Amanda
of
Plummer's brilliant. Yeah,
maniacal,
really
and
good.
yeah, she's excellent. She's a
She
really,
reminds me a bit of not in looks, obviously. Brad Dourif, how good he was,
yeah.
like that level. You know what I
She's
mean?
just
She's
she's creepy, but also she's not like just pure evil. You know what I
no,
mean? You do feel sorry for her. Do you know what I
mm,
mean? Like, but yeah, she's just great. I love the way she looks, and she's just creepy,
I like the way she
and
says things.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's really smart.
it's not all just like over the top cape
No,
failing, villain. She's
yeah, cape failing. Yeah, it's true.
yeah, do you know what I mean? She's got the
Yeah,
subtleties about her, but she's really good. I really like
no,
her.
she's brilliant. It's
Yeah.
probably yeah, one of the best. Really good villain actually. I'd like to see sort of like. Well, we don't know what's going to happen with her, but if I think if the series
No.
was going to go on, they maybe would have her escape or something like that. Because I'd like to see more of
They'll
her.
probably lock her up, and then yeah, they could she
Yeah.
could escape later, and then it should be like a recurring baddie, which
Or
was
yeah,
good.
but they're probably just going to end up like sort of like stuffing her in some Tupperware and sticking them in a freezer somewhere.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Maybe that'd be terrible.
Uh,
Um, but yeah. So yeah, Geordie had like a bit of a heart to heart with Data, trying to get him to not take over the ship, and
yeah,
had a few tears there, which I thought was just weird while everything's going on. You made me a better friend.
yeah.
When you
When I
died, it
saw
broke
it,
me.
there was a
Oh,
really
it's great.
effective bit. I was watching some rubbish on I can't remember one of the streaming channels, and like the first three series, are, as usual. Like the first season, I kind of skipped of this particular thing, and then the second season got quite into it, and the third season was brilliant. And and there was a bit where one of the cops, it was like a cop and robbers thing, they'd lost one of their. Oh, this is really boring story now. I wish I hadn't started it,
We have to
but
finish it now.
yeah, well, yeah. So there was this bent cop, and anyway, he lost his partner, and he eventually sort of gets hold of the villain who killed his partner and said, like, you think he's going to kill him, like, because this other guy's a really good actor as well, and you really think he's going to kill him, and it'd been within his rights, and he'd get away with it, but he doesn't, and he arrests the guy, and he said, "She's made me a better person. She made me this,
What show
and
is
I'm not
that?
going." Person of Interest, I think it's
Oh,
called.
never heard of it.
Yeah, the third season's brilliant. It's really good. It really ramps up. Very exciting. It's a bit daft.
Yeah.
It's a bit daft, and I kind of skipped the first season because it was a bit daft.
Daft Person
It-
of Interest.
yeah. But like the third season's really good, and there's some really good actors in it, and he did that, and it was such a good moment. He was like, you really think he's going to kill this guy? He'd been tortured and everything, and all the rest of it, and his face is all broken up, and he's got his gun on him, and you think, and he could get away with it as well, and he wouldn't need to file a report or anything, but he arrests them, and it was really good. It was a really good moment. So that kind of reminded me of this, and I thought, I wonder if they've watched that. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
It just seems
yeah.
weird trying to like sort of pull at Data's heartstrings. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I understand where they're
Yeah,
going.
I know. And also, Geordie out of all of them would know that he's a robot, and he hasn't got. He's only tried out a few feelings. You know what I mean? And then he
Yeah.
got blown up on. Was it Nemesis? He got blown up on, wasn't it? He like to smithereens.
Yeah. Like
Data.
dead.
And I think he'd only tried out like laughter. I don't know if he had sympathy or empathy or anything like that.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of understand why they did it, but I just thought it was like, just Geordie sort of like
I
holding
just
back
think people are
tears.
getting killed. People are getting killed.
Yeah, people are getting killed constantly.
Yeah.
You're just like, please don't kill us. You know what I mean? Like, we're friends.
He got through in the end though, so it was worth it.
He did get through in the end, and he did sort of like help them out. But basically, so how did that episode end? Vadic was in control of the ship, isn't it?
So she got in control of the ship. Also, what we didn't mention was that when Jack and Sidney were together and they were running away from these people, this all was happening at the same time. Jack took over Sidney's mind and helped to fight off
forgot about that.
In fact, one of Vadic's soldiers.
Yeah, he kind of like used her as an avatar.
Yeah.
Duck, roll,
yeah.
dodge,
roll, shoot,
block.
shoot.
Yeah.
I don't get it. While some of these guns are like vaporizing some of these people, and then because I mean, like Sidney hit that guy about 5 or 6 times with bullets, so well, maybe she didn't want to vaporize. I don't know, but anyway, I just thought it'd be better to vaporize.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, because they blasted away at some of them, but then Jack shot one in the head, and the whole thing just turned into like crispy. But then some of them were just not. Yeah, some of them were vaporizing. Some of them were just lying down and then getting up again.
Yeah.
That happened a lot, and like when Vadic turned into the blob meat sludge, they were both, firing at her and like didn't bloody work. So there's still inconsistencies.
Yeah. So now I'm questioning whether or not Jack's a changeling, because I'm not sure. I mean, like that's reading minds, but that's also influence. You're influencing someone's behaviour.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty powerful fucking power,
doesn't
isn't it?
sound like changeling power at all. So yeah,
No.
there's obviously a lot more bollocks going on. There was.
I mean, he's Jason Bourne. He's a Vulcan.
Yeah.
And I don't think they had any.
He's like a Betazoid
telekinesis.
sort of thing. Yeah, he's like, I don't know what's going on.
But Betazoids can't. Well, they
Not
can only
control
influence
people.
you through. Yeah, they can't. I don't think they can control people.
So yeah, he's kind of into something new, probably.
So that's interesting. Also, what we forgot to mention, Picard, when they boot up Data for the first time, sort of quite early on in the episode, they said he's got an anomalous form within him.
Yeah.
And is it neuromodic disease?
I can't remember the name. Something syndrome he's got, which is I think is what they said would kill him, which is why they gave him a new. I don't know what, I can't remember. but yeah, he's got something in him that's bad. No,
Or just anonymous.
yeah, but now but
Yeah,
then yeah, Data said the I think Aramea syndrome or something was maybe a misdiagnosis, so there's something else. I
yeah.
think that's
So
what he
he's got
said.
something with him, something either living in him or dormant or something.
Yeah,
So obviously Picard's got something in. What is it? I think you speculated it was something to do with the Borg, maybe,
yes.
because he's probably still got implants in there because
So
Seven hasn't got rid of all of hers, and they
yeah,
couldn't remove them all
so yeah,
either.
I mean, right from the beginning, I was like the Borg are in this, but they haven't showed up yet. And we did sort of speculate like if you had a Borg stroke changeling alliance, you'd probably be screwed because I don't think the Borg would be able
Yeah,
to
you would too.
assimilate changelings. So there's no point,
No,
So they would have to unless they have, and unless it's all they're all behind the scenes. But I think if you had the whole point of them stealing Picard's remains was to
have a
create a new
doppelganger.
Locutus of Borg, where
Huh.
everyone would be fucked,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if he was leading the Borg army, alongside the Borg Queen. So I don't know. I got a feeling that might happen. I think that would be quite interesting because they'd be like, oh shit. I
Yeah,
mean, we're just done
because
now.
we've kind of been given the line that they've just knocked together another doppelganger of
Mm.
Picard because they want him to turn up at these
Frontier,
with the big celebration,
yeah,
the Starfleet celebration.
clearly needs to be
But
cancelled.
yeah, so yeah,
But
there's that. So that's
yeah,
interesting. What is Jack? That's
yeah. And
interesting.
what's why they you still don't know why they're after Jack because now we know he's some kind of weird being. We're not quite sure
Mm.
what that is. But then also it's they need
He
they
might have been
even
something else in the lab.
but even
He
yeah, he might have been, yeah,
he
and
might be in a completely different creature,
yeah,
or maybe he's gained more
yeah.
attributes than the other
But
ones.
I think even Picard and that were talking about that perhaps because they've got is Picard's dead body, and they need because he says he's supposed to do a speech or something at the Frontier Day, but he would need to be genetically identified to prove it's him. They've got
Yeah,
his body, but it's dead. So maybe I think he even said in the episode, perhaps they need to somehow need Jack's DNA so they can fill in the gaps in Picard's
yeah,
DNA or something. They
and maybe
speculating.
the changelings have already got Jack's DNA, but they've
Yeah,
realised he's not human, so
maybe. Yeah,
he couldn't be
I
used
st-
as
still
a
have no idea really.
yeah,
I
no
mean, to be
clue.
honest, it's
Yeah,
like but it's kind of interesting. There wasn't actually a lot. I mean, Picard was in almost every scene, but he didn't really say that much in this episode. To be
mm.
fair, like he was mostly just sort of other people leading, which is fine. Um, that it's great actually. We didn't see any Worf either. We didn't see any Riker. Um,
Raffi, where's Raffi?
where's Raffi? Fuck knows actually. Did she go with Worf?
I thought she didn't.
Yeah,
Well, maybe she did. I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
because I did question it at the time. I thought, why are you taking her? But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you did. You were talking about that. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. So obviously we're probably going to see more of them in the next one. Maybe that's going to be a Worf, Raffi, Riker, Deanna, Troy
yeah.
episode.
Well, now that they've captured the Titan, they'll probably throw them into jail with Riker, and they'll come up with some brilliant plans to get out, won't they?
Probably.
And also, they haven't captured, although they've captured the ship, they haven't got Picard, Bev, Jack, Sydney, and I don't think they've got Data and
No.
the
So all
Forge
they've got is the
either.
bridge.
Yeah, they got the bridge crew. Yeah, as
Yeah.
far as we know, I didn't see.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, you're right. I
yeah,
wasn't. I did. I think it was a bit sort of confusing that thing at the end because they'd managed to take over the bridge quite easily.
yeah.
They literally just like, oh, they're
Oh, yeah.
outside the door and the door's open. And they just went in and
Captain Shaw got beaten up again.
yeah, I know.
Poor bastard. He's always getting beaten up.
I like him,
Yeah.
but it's
Had a little tear as well. I
yeah.
noticed he had a
Oh, did
little.
he? It's probably
Yeah,
like this is the third time I've been
I
fucking like
know.
absolutely kicked in. Like, do
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And like everyone else is just like fine. We don't like him anyway. But
yeah.
like
I quite like him.
I do, yeah. But I mean, there was some. I mean, I was looking online and sort of people were saying that a lot of people like him as well because he's just human. You know what I mean? He's just like he's flawed. I mean, he is an arsehole, but like he does have some redeeming qualities, which is
Mm.
that's what a human being is, isn't he? And there's no perfect characters are boring The people who are
Yeah,
just
yeah,
supremely good and never do anything wrong and can't be beaten, they're just boring and they don't
yeah,
exist. So it's like, but people were talking about they'd love to see a spin off with Shaw and Seven, and I actually think that would be really good because
yeah,
like there's this animosity between them, because of her natural, this new personality they've given her, which is just sort of like, I mean, she's softened a bit the last two episodes, but like, you know, but that would be
adversarial. Yeah,
interesting because she like he would be the captain. She's been second in command. She doesn't like being the second in command anyway, and like he doesn't like her. I think that would be quite interesting to sort of force them to work together. It's a bit like
yeah, yeah, it
Voyager,
would be good.
It's a bit like Voyager. They were forced to work together with lots of
Yeah,
different personalities, with different political beliefs and everything. But it's like you've got no choice. But all that
yeah.
interpersonal conflict was part of what made it good. So I mean, I don't think it will happen, but I would like to see it.
My cat's moaning.
Yeah, never mind.
Meow,
So yeah, so
meow. What's going on? Come here. Meow. That's what you said. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that.
especially
Yeah, so at the end
now,
of the episode, yeah, we're pretty much done, aren't we? So they've got hold of the Titan, Raffi and I think Worf are out there doing stuff. They haven't got all of the crew, and yeah,
yeah.
that's about it, really.
I mean, again, there's still a lot of people on the. I know a lot of people were evacuated from the Titan, weren't they? Were they?
Yeah, well, most of the crew. So they've
Yeah,
got a skeleton crew. So I don't know how many that is, but
yeah.
it's not 500 people.
No, exactly. So, but I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It's just like some
Yeah,
people are in the engineering, some people are on the bridge, but like, where are the others? And you know,
yeah. Is
but do you know
Doctor
what?
Oak
I can.
still there? I can't. I don't think she. I think
Well,
she's gone,
exactly.
isn't
Yeah, I don't
she?
know where she went either.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bev is like, no, you can go. I'll take over being doctor
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Bev,
Bad.
fucking hell. I'm
Yeah.
losing my compass, she says.
But
Yeah,
when
I'm
they
losing
said
my
about
compass.
Picard, say, yeah, when they said about Picard having this anomalous form inside him, you think they'd be getting him onto a scanner?
Yeah, but that was in his old body, wasn't it? So it's like now he's
Oh,
in the
but
positronic
didn't they
body.
like perfectly replicate him or something?
I think they replicated him so he didn't have that thing.
Oh,
I believe that was in the first series, and I can't quite remember
but do you
because I
think
was
maybe
so
he's
like.
passed it on to
I think
he's passed it on to
that was their
Jack?
fear. Yeah, that was their fear that he had something that was going to cause him to go like a degenerative mental thing they couldn't cure or something.
No, I mean in this anomalous form. I'm thinking about. Do you think
But
maybe he's passed it on?
well, that's what I'm. I mean, yeah, I think that was his fear, but now we
Yeah,
don't know what it is because they reckon it's not whatever it is syndrome, which is fine.
yeah,
So we don't know. So I don't know. I mean, we still don't really know, really. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's weird. So yeah,
yeah,
we still don't really know. Um, so I suppose we should start wrapping this up. But like,
yeah, yeah.
so I don't
Yeah,
know. I
well, I'm
don't know.
looking forward to it. It's really good.
It is really good.
Really
Yeah, it's
enjoyed
really,
it.
really, really good.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing the next one. I
Yeah,
might have a look through some of the old episodes to see, not these ones, the Star Trek episodes, um, just to see if Jean-Luc was taken over by alien entities or whatever. Maybe they left something there. I
probably.
don't. Yeah, there's bound to be loads of them, isn't there?
Yeah,
I mean, the Borg's the most obvious one, but.
yeah. I don't know. There's still inconsistencies in that whole thing, because like if they were
Yeah,
convinced it was this weird syndrome, and now they're like, oh, it's not. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know, but
I
like,
wasn't buying that anyway. I wasn't buying that for Jack.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It's
I mean,
just
he
sort
might
of
have it, but that's
it.
the least of his worries at the
I
moment, I
think we
think.
don't have enough information to make a sort of like informed opinion on it. Do you know what I mean? As
Yeah.
yet, still 7 episodes in, so we still don't really know what's going on. I know I say that every episode, but it's kind of true.
Yeah, I know.
You
It's
know,
good.
I
It's
mean,
good.
but no, it's really enjoying it. And so, I mean, I think we talked about. I don't think we talked about it last week, but um, so a lot of people are very, very happy with this third series. That is sort of the showrunner is Terry Matalas or something, and everyone's like, he's really great, and he obviously is. and everyone's got very much like, boo to this Alex Kurtzman
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of stuff. So all the sort of rebooted movies, things like Discovery and what have you, they're all going down the toilet.
They're just all shit.
Yeah, they're all going down the toilet because they're
I mean,
just
I was really
not
excited when
starting it.
Discovery came out. I thought, oh, great,
Yeah,
Um,
it did have some
but
great bit. It could have been great, but it was just, it's just weird. I think,
it
it's
just the
just
personalities didn't make sense. Everything, well, nothing made sense really.
no.
That was what the problem was.
And
It
they made
didn't
it,
look or feel
yeah.
like Star Trek at all.
Also, they just sort of like didn't like they didn't plan this planet. They sort of like they changed the way the Klingons look. I remember that was weird. So like, why would you bother doing that? But then they changed it back because like everyone was like,
Um,
it's just like it's so obvious to watch it.
yeah, I
And then
wonder why they did that.
I think I
That
don't
is
know. I
odd.
mean, I thought someone just said, "Oh, let's change it up a bit." Oh, yeah, that'd be a good idea. And everyone's like,
No,
"We hate it," and they're like, "Oh, well, let's just sneakily change them back," and hope no one
yeah.
notices. Oh, come on.
I
Um,
quite like the TNG, Worf, and I
yeah,
like that look for
I
the
mean they're
Klingon.
different
It's
from the original series. I mean, the original series they just were geezers with moustaches,
yeah,
like
yeah,
sort of like just like
with
angry
barely
looking
any
guys,
makeup.
but like
Yeah,
but but yeah, the whole sort of it was a great look for the Klingons. So I mean, they
mm,
made loads of mistakes, and then it's just like, oh, let's try to forget all about that by having an alternate
yeah, that
universe. It's like,
shit
for
doesn't
fuck's sake.
fly.
And then,
Yeah,
oh, people didn't like that either, so let's switch back. And then let's I'll tell you what, let's forget about all of it and jump 800 years into the future and just start again. I mean, that's what happened, and it's like
yeah,
it's just got bloody daft. And I gave up. I think I watched 3 series of it, but I was
yeah.
just like, this is just getting worse and worse and worse. And in the end, I think I watched a couple of. I think I've watched some of episode 4, or maybe I haven't. But I was just like, you know what? I can't be bothered. And usually I will watch something if I'm invested in it. I will continue to watch it because
Yeah, you want to see what happens,
yeah,
but
even if it's
I just
bad. But
didn't. I
no,
didn't care
no,
by the end of
exactly.
it.
I
I
was
was
just
just
I
no.
don't care. I just
End
do
of
not
season
care.
one, I was just like, you don't want to. They're torturing a creature so you can blast off across the universe. It's just not what I want to
I mean,
look
that whole
at.
thing in itself was just ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
it
we're going to
was.
fucking
Didn't need to be there.
fucking tardigrades.
Uh,
Do you know what I mean? Like, it
yeah,
just fucking
fucking
made no
enormous
fucking sense.
tardigrade. Yeah.
It just didn't make any bloody sense at all. And it's like clearly they were just chopping and changing what they're writing about halfway through each
All the men
series.
were
They would,
really weak.
yeah, all
There
that.
was no one I fancied,
But again,
you
you had
know.
people in there who were just like sort of too perfect. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? It's just they're just great, sort of noble and fierce, and don't take any shit. And it's just like, but none of them had any sort of I don't know, flaws or sort of apart from sort of
yeah.
anger, or just bursting into tears all the time. It's just
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it was just shit. It was just shit.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine when you join Starfleet, they're going to try to say to you, you're going to be put in some quite tricky situations, right? So we need to know that you're able to sort of control yourself, like your emotions. There's no point you sort of bursting into tears when you're in the middle of a battle because
Yeah.
because someone insulted your friend,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but like they
You
all
got to be a
just,
bit tougher than that.
do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not, it's almost like a military life. I mean, it's not a military life, but they have a sort of chain of command and stuff, so that people just don't run riot. But of course,
Mm.
Discovery they just run riot, and of course they just cause all kinds of fucking
There
problems.
was no chain of command I could see.
Yeah, exactly.
There was just people there that with like the personalities didn't make any sense, and they were just yeah, it was just shit.
I mean, I
Yeah.
sort of get, maybe understand what they were trying to do. I mean, you had someone like Kirk, right? And Kirk was sort of, he was resourceful, and he would sort of do things that he was always being told not to do things by people, and he would just do them anyway, you know. And like, but and he
Do
did.
you think that's what they were going
I
for?
think so, and I kind of understand
Yeah,
that, but
but
like,
he wasn't
but
doing
Kirk,
it just for no reason.
but
He would
Kirk
do it
also
if he
got,
was
yeah,
pushed.
but he
If
got
he was pushed,
disciplined as well, Kirk, and he only did it
yeah,
if it was real life and death, like, like,
because he was an admiral, he got knocked down to a
yeah.
captain again,
Yeah,
didn't
it got
he?
absolutely
Yeah.
disciplined and got humiliated for it. And
Mm.
like, they were like, this is the end of your sort of
Yeah,
thingy
but when
career.
he did it, it made sense. When they did it, it was like that doesn't make it didn't make
Yeah.
sense.
No, it was. But the thing is, I think it's just there was no consequences for them at all,
Yeah.
and
No, that's right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
like,
So it wasn't
and even if
realistic.
there
Yeah.
was, people you say, what you've done and stuff like that, she'd be like, be all upset, you know what I mean, and crying because someone had to
Mm.
tell her what to do, and then like the next day, just fucking go off and do it again, like nicking the
Yeah.
ship and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like it just didn't make any sense, and I'm
I
glad it's
just
gone. I'm glad it's
Yeah, I mean,
going.
I didn't get any. I can't remember anyone's names on it apart from Michael Burnham because it's a weird name.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, everybody knows
All
the
the
female
crew are
for Michael is
insufferable,
Michelle.
the crew are all insufferable, a lot of them,
Yeah,
it's
none of them
just
had
like
a nice person.
exactly the
Like,
type of
I
people you
just
avoid in real life,
none
because
of
they're
them
just
stood out.
smug and sort of like self-centered, and
Yeah,
like they don't any sort of like, there's only their way is the only way, and they just demean you and belittle you if you don't
well, they
go
didn't
along with
seem to
them.
have any standards or like a code that they live by, which is
Yeah,
what I mean. Which is what they should have had, but instead there was just this wishy-washy bollocks, and I didn't like
yeah.
any of them.
No, I mean the whole point. I mean, you could argue, I reckon, that the whole point of Star Trek is about, I mean, Starfleet is about different civilizations and different
Yeah,
cultures and different creatures. But like, you've got to, at some level, leave it at the door when you turn up for work in order to work together to fulfill the mission of Starfleet,
you've
which
got to
is to
work as a team,
explore.
haven't you? Otherwise, you're fucked.
Yeah. So like
Yeah,
there's always sort of like conflicts between people and stuff like that. But like they kind of leave it, they control it, and everyone becomes a better person for it because
yeah.
it's not just your thing. You learn to
And
sort of,
your loyalty grows within the team, and you'll do
yeah,
anything for
and you become
people on your team, mate.
very
And
different
I wouldn't do
people.
anything for them people.
No,
I'd just
exactly,
be like, fucking do it yourself.
if you said one word out of line, they'd all just ostracize you. You just get cancelled.
Yeah,
They cancel you. You'd find
yeah, yeah.
yourself like on shore leave, and they just run off without you.
Can't be trusted. Yeah.
But like, but that's the thing. They were all sort of all on the same page, and it just didn't make any sense. It just any group of
Mm.
people more than two people just doesn't work like that. It's
No,
like
yeah,
there's
everyone's got different
so
opinions.
you have to
Yeah.
have like systems in order to sort of keep
You've
that
got to
ship.
make a good argument about why you're doing stuff.
Yeah, and just can't go off book
Yeah,
all the time. I mean, it's not like we
yeah.
want people to be completely subservient. That's ridiculous. But like,
No.
your opinion should be
But it was
valued.
never
But
like that on Star Trek. I
mm,
mean, like if someone came up with a crazy idea, they'd have a bit of not a massive discussion. They'd just say, "Well, that's kind of dangerous," but and the engineer would like chip in and go, "Well, we could do it this way," and then
yeah, and then
doctor or whatever would say something. Well, yeah, we could do it like that, and in the
but
end, well, let's do it because we're fucked, so we might as well try it,
Well,
sort
they
of
used
thing,
to
you know?
talk about there was quite a lot of them in their ready room, innit? And ultimately, they would all talk about it and argue, and then Picard would go, "No,
Yeah.
we're not doing it," and that's it, and that was the
Mm.
end of it, sort of
Or like
thing,
with Janeway and
Well,
Chakotay
yes,
when she was like, "Oh, I'm going to make a pact with the Borg to get through their space," which is like, "What?"
yeah,
But it's really really ballsy move. But Chakotay was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!
yeah,
We've got to go round." But
yeah,
and they had a big disagreement. She said, "Look, well, I'm in charge. We're doing it this way." And then she got injured, and then he took them back. And she was like, "I'm really fucking disappointed in you." Yeah, no,
yeah,
they had a big blast off about it. It was good, but that's how the characters would work.
yeah,
You
because
know,
in
yeah,
that way you can see both sides. You know
totally.
what I mean?
Yeah, I totally both
But
seen both
unfortunately,
sides.
you can't do both solutions. And that's
Yeah,
great. That's what life is about. That's what good writing is about. It's about
yeah.
you
It
know
was
you,
very good
there's
episodes. All of that
yeah
Borg stuff
any
in
action always has like
Voyager was
consequence.
brilliant.
Yeah, so it's like that's
And
what
Chakotay didn't like let it go. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean? And just went along with it. As soon as she got injured and he had to take over, he's like, "Well, in my opinion,
yeah,
I think we should get away from these people." Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And then then they had to have a discussion later about why he did it, and he just said, "I just didn't agree with you."
yeah,
And she was like, "I get it," but she goes, "I do respect your decision, but I'm in charge. Back again. Let's go through Borg space." So yeah,
yeah,
but it was good. It was realistic. They
yeah,
didn't want to get in each other's faces about it. He wanted to support her, but he just couldn't. He
yeah,
just he made the point of no, I don't agree with you. I
yeah.
can't. So
I mean,
yeah,
it's a bit. I mean, that's so. It's kind of weird as to know what's going to happen next because we saw. I think we both read something about that. Um, I think they were going to put Star Trek on hold until 2026, is what I heard. Right, and they were going to come
That's when
back and
Kurtzman leaves.
yeah. So, and I think that was it. It's just basically because of the negative, sort of reviews of
Yeah, they
quite a
can't
lot
get
of
rid of him
Star
until
Trek.
2026, which is
Yeah,
fucking ages away.
but a lot of people like they want the company that because it's a different company that made Picard season 3 than the other two, which is being run by that
They're doing a
Metalis
great
guy,
job. I'm loving
but
it.
but it
Yeah.
is owned by Kurtzman. The company is owned by Kurtzman, so he does
Right.
have a say. But he's so this guy can't just like, okay, well, my company's gonna you can hire me to do the next
But
Star
they
Trek
could.
and save the universe,
I
but
mean, I
like
don't know how
they
big
can't do it
Kurt.
contractually.
Yeah, but I don't know how big an ego Kurtzman is. It's obviously going to be pretty large, Hollywood, blah blah blah, producer. But they could they could make a business case for this because they said, look, Kurtzman wasn't very didn't have much influence on this season, and everyone's really liking it,
Yeah.
and they want more of it. Um, can you not do that again? Can you just bugger off
I think. Well, I mean,
and
I
let
think that's what
Metalis do
everyone's
it?
hoping. Yeah,
Yeah,
that whoever
and
runs.
because there would be a market for that, and
Yeah,
they could there's a business case for that, and
I think it will
a
happen.
financial.
I
There's a
think it. Yeah,
financial, I know they spend a fucking shitload on it, but they've done this season with less money, and this is probably why it's not lit properly. But
yeah.
I can cope with that. I can cope with not lit because obviously
I
the
kind of like
effects.
it. I like it sort of dark and
Yeah,
I mean,
I can cope with that. So, and they could say, well, we could do it for the same amount that we did for this season, and as long as Kurtzman's not involved, we'll give you the money for it, sort of thing.
yeah. I think that's the best case scenario is that
Yeah,
basically, even if they have to let his contract run out and we don't see any Star Trek for 3 years, if in the meantime this geezer
yeah,
comes up with a couple new shows. But the problem is there's a couple more shows already come that haven't come out yet that are coming out
yeah. I
by
mean, I quite like.
Kurtzman,
I
but
mean,
but
I like.
but they've got like Starfleet Academy, which is
Yeah,
basically, I mean, it's going to be absolutely awful. Can you imagine? So
uh,
that's a bunch of teenagers, and
yeah.
it's all about their
I don't want to see that.
no, it's all
No.
about finding their first loves, being in
Oh,
pair
for
up. That's
fuck's
that's what they've
sake.
written, and it's just like, do you know
No.
what? I cannot be asked watching a
If it's
teenage.
not in space, they're not discovering
Yeah.
new things. They're not in peril.
So it's
I don't. You
basically
know what I
Star
mean?
Trek young adult, and like, fine, maybe fine, because it's not for me. I'm not
Yeah.
going to watch it. Maybe
Yeah.
young
Yeah.
people will like it, but I don't know if they will. To be fair, um,
Yeah.
I think it's a very blatant, obvious move to sort of
Yeah.
like make a Star Trek that's just no one's going to like apart from people who don't really know Star
I'll
Trek
let
that
it
well.
fail on purpose, sort of
I don't
thing.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, but so
Yeah.
there is more coming, unfortunately, from the Kurtzman camp. But
Maybe she should. Kurtzman should just accept he's a bit shit at this.
yeah,
Do something else.
bow
Maybe.
out gracefully. Yeah, let someone else take over. He's
You
done
know,
his bit,
maybe he's good at like kids programs or
but
I don't know, fucking
but
historical things.
he's been doing it for God, I don't know how many 10
Yeah, he's had
years,
a good
5, 10
fucking
years or
run.
something. He's been in charge and he's made a lot of money. Some of it's all right, most of it's bad, but like it's
Yeah,
quite clearly that no one loves it. Really,
yeah,
not well. I mean, some people must love it, but I think this geezer has obviously proved. Metalis has proven with this one that he can do a really good job that Star Trek fans
yeah. I
really
really
like,
like it. I
and
really do
and
like it. It's very
starting to
good.
introduce some new characters. Sort of warm to sort of Sydney and her sister now. It's like that's great. Even Jack, I'd
Is
be
her
quite
sister
happy.
still there? Oh, I like Sydney. She's
Yeah,
got charm. She's very
yeah. Do you know what I mean?
charming.
So I've
Yeah,
warmed to
very
her
pretty.
and the other one as well. And
Yeah,
like, but even Jack, I think Jack is sort of interesting because he's
yeah,
not in Starfleet. He's not invested. He's
yeah,
kind of a rogue element sort of thing, But
yeah.
like, he seems
They have
kind
given
of.
him quite a few powers though. That's going to be hard to write.
I think, yeah. I mean, that's the problem. I expect he's going to die. you know,
Oh, well,
unless
that'd
he
be
gets
sad.
purged from
Yeah,
his thing. But I mean, I wasn't sure about him at the start either. But like, there is a way to make decent new
yeah. I
characters
like
that aren't
Shaw.
sort of like perfect paragons of virtue because no one is interested in
Yeah,
sort of like pay people like that. It's just not interesting to watch.
no,
Maybe it's a great way to aspire to be, but it's just not interesting to watch.
it's not though, because in real life you don't get away with that shit in real life.
Yeah, it's just not the way it
But
is.
people will say something eventually. They might put up with you for a while, but
Yeah,
it's just like this isn't working out.
yeah.
It's not working out. I mean,
But
it's kind
yeah,
of like how I feel about the Kurtzman track is because
yeah.
I gave it a chance. I watched an entire fucking season of it, and I was just like, this isn't working for me.
Yeah, I didn't like the movies either. It's like I just couldn't really get behind that.
No.
I
No.
thought it was daft. But anyway, we're Star Trek season Picard season 3. It's doing really, really well. We've got 3 episodes left, so
Yeah.
we've still got just over a third of the
8, 9,
series left,
10.
and
Yeah.
like there's a
It's
lot.
exciting. It's
It is
good.
exciting. There's a lot that could go on. That episode was only 45 minutes long. I mean, I thought it was. I mean, we watched it and it took 3 hours to watch it because we were pissing about. But like when I watched it again this morning, it sort of flew by. I was like, shit, I could
Yeah.
have done with a bit more of this, really. But
Yeah.
I think some of the, like Seven is becoming slightly more
Yeah, she's
Seven.
becoming more like her old self again, which is
Yeah,
good.
yeah, which is good. I'm not even. I mean, Bev is just weird, but like, I'm warming to some of the newer characters like Jack and Sidney. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all
Yeah, it's all
great. We've
positive.
got a
It's
really
all
crazy
positive.
villain who
She's great.
we know.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
what we know
Plumber's
now about
brilliant.
her.
Yeah.
We've only really found out about her in this episode is that she's not going to stop. She's utterly
Yeah.
justified in her
You
mind.
wouldn't.
There's
Not
no
after that.
there's
There's
no
no way.
compromising with her at all. Her
Mm.
literally, she was, just not going to happen. So they're
There's no
going to have
reason
to.
for her to stop.
No, exactly. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really exciting. I'm looking forward to episode 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah.
cool. So, should we leave it there then? Or is there anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we've covered quite a lot there. I'm really,
Y-
really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me too.
great
Yeah.
show. Well,
All right then.
see you next time for episode 8.
See you next time, then. Bye.
Bye.